So we saw Danelle morph into this other person on the Crime Weekly podcast. Uh, the same rhetoric is coming out of her mouth, but her demeanor is much different, which is a lot like what the jailers told us about Darlie. That when she was in the courtroom, she was all boo-hoo, wah-wah, and then when she got back out, she was, hey, party, and complaining about her boobs. We heard that from several different people that dealt with Darlie. That when the cameras are on, she was one person, and then she was totally different. She would talk so much in the Dallas County Jail through the vents, and I'm talking about Phil Adams, not that I just put up there. The other inmates called it Darlie Live. So there was two different inmates that didn't even know each other that were saying that Darlie was sexting with them. Two different men. And since she's been in there, she's had a relationship with Richard Wright, Darren Gross. There was another one too. What the hell is his name? There was another one too. I was swayed, but the track record is there. And so Crime Weekly showed us how you would do it if you were coming on a network television show. How the interview would have to go a certain way. And they discussed how the interview was going to go beforehand, before Danelle came up. So she had an idea of how it was going to go. She probably got to put her input in about this, that. I don't know if she asked him not to ask anything, certain things. But she had to behave herself. Now, my channel doesn't worry about political correctness. My channel worries about the fact that these people are trying to make this person who killed two children look innocent. That is disgusting to me. Danelle is the worst of the worst, but she's the easiest to catch. Outside of her mother. Darlie Key doesn't talk much anymore because we catch her all the time. And see, what they do is every 5 or 6 years, we got another Darlie supporter that pops out with these strange theories and shit like that. We have to run them off because they're lying. We feel like we're protecting these kids. Just like if I was walking down the street and I seen a woman being abusive to two of her kids that was abusive, I would step in and say, hey, what are you doing? Right? So I know, and most of the people that are watching this video knows that after watching Crime Weekly, we know that Danelle is faking it. My channel proves it, right? Just search Danelle on the search bar. Right here, when you come onto my channel, there's a search bar. And just type in Danelle or type in Baby D. And you'll see a totally different person than what you saw on Crime Weekly. She didn't say anything about being harassed or anything like that. Which is good because she knows that's a lie. She put up this whole Facebook post to all of her friends and family that watch her Facebook. That said, and she said, it's still there. She said, I was doing everything I could to stalk her, to harass her. I've threatened her, blah, 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 blah. When my group knows that I never messaged her. I never called her. I would get messages from her where she's calling me a moron and all kinds of names, and I'm just being as nice as can be to her. I pulled a Derek on her. I went that way. I was being nice to her. Right? And when she did this live with me, she's like, come on, go fire up a live. I said, okay, no holds barred. And I wanted to get to this. There's a huge point to me in this case as to why this family is out speaking out in defense of Darlie when I feel like they know she's guilty. Right? Because it's not their first run with a family member who has harmed children. Right? So it all goes back to when Darlie was 8. And when Danelle's dad, Dennis, was molesting her. See, okay, if And now I know Darla's guilty. I want to look at why. Why would she do this, right? Why? Where does it start? Where did it come from, right? And I can see through what she said on the stand in Darlie's testimony about him molesting her from first time age 8 on. You see where this psychosis begun at, right? Because Darlie says that she told her mother about him molesting her, and she didn't do anything about it. Just sweep that under the rug. Shh. Shh. Then you have Danelle on here denying that her dad did that and also saying that Darlie's not a liar. Right? So the mentality is this. With this video, I have proven that that family has absolutely no problem with defending someone who harms a child. Us non-supporters that watch this thing, this is the most damning thing that Danelle has ever said or done on social media regarding the Darlie Routier case. Because it proves that they protect people in the family that harm children. And it proves that they will lie. When he flat molested her, she said, my dad didn't do that. He was a wonderful person. So I want to play this real quick. I just want to recap this since we saw the fake Danelle. I've also got another live on here with her. It's 4 hours long. Come on in, Danelle. And Pam was up there with me. But I want to say something after this.
Do I abuse you in any type of way?
I am Darlie's sister, and I'm concerned about y'all's well-being. No grown man should ever act like your dad acts. This is disgusting and embarrassing.
You know it's disgusting? You, shut
He
up.
is not. This is disgusting and embarrassing.
You know it's disgusting? You, shut
He
up.
is not. This is disgusting and embarrassing.
You know it's disgusting? You, shut
He
up.
is. This is disgusting and embarrassing.
You know it's disgusting? You, shut
He
up.
is. This is disgusting and embarrassing.
You know it's disgusting? You, shut
He
up.
is. This.
My daughter had heard her accusing me of molesting my kids because I brought it up, a case related thing, where the psychosis started at. And to me, it starts at 8 years old. She had to carry that. Darlie had to carry that nobody believed her and they all wanted, shh, can't talk about that. Right? And she wrote about that in her journal shortly before she killed her kids. So this is something Darlie had to live with in the back of her head. This is mental illness or mental issues. Maybe not illness. It could cause a mental illness if it's not treated. Right? Darlie Key took the time to go get herself treatment after that happened. But she did not do that for her daughter. She couldn't believe her husband would do that. She needed to go talk to somebody about that.
This is disgusting and embarrassing.
You know it's disgusting? You, shut
He
up.
is. This is disgusting and embarrassing.
You know it's disgusting?
This is disgusting and embarrassing.
You know it's
But, you can see, you can watch this entire video dealing with a dingbat on my channel. Darlie Routier's sister gets owned by a 14-year-old. There's much more to it. And I'm going to go to find that other one. I want to remind people that are watching this because I'm promoting my channel a little bit more now because these lies keep coming out, and we have the truth right here. There's a whole collective of us. When you come to my channel right here, BryanSt.John, right? I've got them categorized because people ask me a lot of questions. You can either type in Danelle. This is where she blew up my Facebook one day. And I told her I can't talk right now because my kids are sleeping. And she told me she didn't give a shit. And there were 7 calls in a row that came through late at night one night. But you can see that you can type in Danelle and get some there. And then she took the time one day to report every one of my videos that had the name Danelle in it. And of course, we know that didn't go nowhere. I had to do an appeal, but So when she started doing that, I did just call her Baby D. And there's a lot of content here that shows the real one, the real lies. They're not all cussing and hollering. There's a lot of it though. Here's where she was caught in the lie about the sock. It's right here on Baby D Caught in a Big Lie, where she was confronted about telling Ken Maines that Darlie's DNA was found on the inside or on the outside of the sock as opposed to the inside. And her response to that was, "What does it matter to Pam?" See, Derek and them don't know about this stuff. This is where she was in the Kerrville groups or in the Rowlett groups, just trying to talk to people, but she never told them that she was. We caught her doing that a couple times too. She's right here. This is a private chat between her and I where she's just totally degrading me, and I'm pulling a Derek on her. I'm proving this. I'm proving that these people have this mentality. So if you guys want to know about the real Danelle and all the misinformation that she puts out, just browse through my channel. Don't kill the messenger. I know I'm not politically correct, but I also know that I have the facts. There's a 4-hour live on here somewhere, and I'm going to find it. If Derek actually takes a look at these videos, he may not, I don't know. This is the one right here where Anna Sullivan claims to be an expert on this case. You can see some of the posts that she's made and some of the background that she has by looking at Hail Your Selfie on Reddit, where she's talking about the case there. That's Sully. This is where her mother got caught in a flat lie right on TV, and I love it. She said Darlie didn't take a lie detector test, and Darlie did take one, and she failed it, and her mother was there. But on the national news, she said she didn't take one. Right here is the one I'm looking for. I had her on for 4 hours. Darlie Routier's sister live on my panel with Pam. And I felt so bad afterwards because Danelle had just pissed me off so bad. And Pam was up there and I was cursing Danelle. Pam didn't say anything though, but she's just not that. She'll tell you, but she'll tell you in a nice way until you really piss her off. And believe me, I know what it's like to really piss Pam off. I absolutely adore her. And she's always been very valuable to the cause that we have on here on social media in defending Devin and Damon. She's very valuable. And she taught me a huge lesson, that one did. But anyways, this is where I'm going to put it up. Now, what I wanted to say about my 2 kids. And being in true crime, I have a different kind of experience than some other true crimers might have because I sat in a murder trial where a child was killed, and it was my family member, my son, that was accused and convicted. Yeah. I never lose track of the victim in his case, whose name is Braden Ferguson, and you can see that story. The Misery Machine's got a video called Shattered, and it's the story of my son's plight. And the difference between myself and Danelle is I'm not going to come out here and lie to make him look innocent. And there are things in the case that are questionable, but I know he did it. Like I said, when there was a tornado warning in the courthouse during the middle of that trial, and they evacuated, everybody had to run down to the fourth floor, and all the jurors and everybody got up and mingled together with the spectators, and we all walked down 4 flights of stairs. The jurors were talking to people. The victim's mother was sitting with the jurors downstairs, and I said, hey, this ain't right, because it's not. I mean, I was trying to stick up for my son the best I could. But, they were mingling together. That could be cause for an entire mistrial. But we did not push that issue. We know it happened. We know it wasn't right. But we also know that my son killed that baby. And it doesn't matter who them fucking jurors sat with. We know he did that. So we're not interested in technicality. There was also another instance in that case where we could prove that a jailhouse informant that said Luke told him that he did it. He's denied it until he finally has admitted it. I can tell you guys that he has admitted it to us, but he denied it to his own family. So why would he admit it to some guy? This guy was a friend of the other side of the family. But anyways, when he gave his testimony, he had to admit on the stand that the detectives gave him a transcript of what Luke was saying. And he was in jail clothes when he made his statement on the stand. As soon as court was over, he got released and his charges were dropped. And that's easy to prove. But we're not interested in technicality. So one of the things that I'm glad with my 2 daughters, because they're about, Danelle's age when this all happened. Danelle was 13, 14, whatever. They miss their brother. They've only been to see him once since he's been down for 8 years. So I don't want to bring him over there. I really don't. But they ask about him all the time. They still love their brother. But they're not going to be out here disrespecting people's intelligence by saying, my brother didn't do it. All those people were lying. The medical staff was wrong. This guy wasn't even an expert. And that guy right there, he was sleeping with this one. Get over here. That's the difference between me and them. I can use my experience that I had to go through it with my family. And it's a horrible thing for both families on the inside, right? Of the case. The difference is I bought it for a minute that he was innocent, but not very long. I looked at the evidence. My very first post was about how guilty he was. And unbelievably, it was a staunch Darlie supporter who messaged me and said, take that shit down. You haven't even talked to him yet. Boom.